see, Daddy Freeze, I am not for or against any of them. Like I said earlier, because nobody really knows the story. Do you understand? But my opinion is this, based on my own experience. It cannot happen to everyone the same way. But my own personal experience, this is it. The father of my children is a billionaire. I was married to him. I was not a baby mama. We had kids in wedlock. After the divorce, things changed. Things changed. I was saying earlier today at Gossip Meal, I said, to me, 5 million naira is enough money for housing allowance in anywhere in Nigeria. When I had my divorce, my ex sent me a pigeon for the kids, to run around, like take them to school and do all the whole, errands and all of that. It's a small car, but it does the job. We're married. That's not the kind of car I was driving.
And that's not the kind of car you're driving now. Last time I checked, You're driving a Rolls Royce.
I sold the car. I added my own money, bought the car I wanted to drive my kids in. Are you getting me?
Clearly.
He was paying school fees in Nigeria. I moved my kids abroad. And the school fees is like 10 times more. And he told me, he said he cannot be paying that school fees because I was the one who moved them, which I agreed. I allowed him to continue paying the same amount he was paying for their school fees in Nigeria, and I topped up the difference.
Can I stand up and give you a standing ovation? I have to, you see, I cannot sit down and clap for you. I have to stand. Baba, I swear, I used to, you've been my friend for ages.
Right.
You've been my friend and my customer for ages because you patronize me. Right. But I'll tell you something. You gained my respect 100-fold today. Please continue with this story.
So, Daddy Freeze, I'm not taking sides, like I said again. I don't think a baby mama should be expecting wife or girlfriend benefits. What Davido can do for his daughter, if he believes this is enough for my daughter, with his status, with his whatever, if he says this is enough for my daughter and it is not insanely below average, if it can serve the purpose for what it is meant for, if you want it to be better, you should put in the effort. You should top it up.
Top it up.
And that's what I am doing. Like I'm not holding anybody accountable or responsible. My ex-husband is a multi-billionaire. There's nothing, the children want that he cannot do for them. Do you understand? But because of the whole divorce thing, there's still some tiny bitterness somewhere. He will not do exactly the same thing he would do while we were married. And it is okay. He has unfettered access to them. He sees them whenever he wants to. He talks to them whenever he wants to. I make sure I take them back to Nigeria at least once every year to see him. If a big matter comes up, if a serious need comes up that I cannot handle, I'll call him. I'll tell him this is going on. I don't have this money complete. Can you support? He will send in his support. But I don't put all the weight on him. don't. I will not do that. And this is me. People might think differently. Everybody has their own opinion, but this is just what me I think. Do not expect wife benefits or a girlfriend's benefits, when you are a baby mama. He's not trying to take care of you. He's trying to take care of his child. And if that child, if he loves the child, whatever he does for the child, should be good, rather. That's basically what I have to say. Like, I mean, I don't know. That's all I have to say, honestly.
Even me, for instance, when my ex changed my children's school, I stopped paying, and she continued paying. So I give that up to her. She would pay the fees. The only problem I had with her is she denied me access. That one was not right. But I respect the fact that she found a way to sort out the bills. I tell women this all the time. When you divorce a man, divorce yourself from his money.
Exactly.
Anything he does for you after that, just know he's doing it for God. Now, men, let me also tell men something. You see, in as much as you hold the knife and you hold the yam, and anyhow you like, you can cut the yam, remember that these children too grow up. And a time will come when they will now hold the yam and they will hold the knife. And if they give you a thin slice with skin and say, is this all you're going to give me? Remember, when you held the yam and you held the knife, that was how you also cut it for them. So in as much as, yes, if Davido gives her 3 million a year, he has tried. If he pays school fees for 2 terms out of 3 terms and expects you to pay the rest, he has tried. But there's also the wisdom of the future, posterity. He too should also think of, how would my child view me 20 years from now when she doesn't really need
True, exactly.
me?
I also mentioned that Daddy Freeze in one of my comments. I said it is at the end of the day, if you think what he's doing for his child is not enough, it is between him and God and his conscience. It is between him and God and his conscience. If he's not contributing at all, then that's a whole different thing entirely. If he is contributing and what he is offering can serve for the purpose it is meant for, then if it's not enough for you, or if it is not your standard, or if it is not the standard you want, you should make it up. You should make it up.
All right. I want you here. I don't want you to go anywhere, Shally. I have 2 people here. Guys, your internet is bad. Please don't send me requests if your internet is bad, because I won't be able to bring up new people and my internet will really mess things up. Guys, I might have to remove the 2 ladies because your internet is bad. Or can I hear you? The lady.
Yes, Daddy Freeze. I was just waiting for her to finish. Hello.
Can you have some light on your face? Can you say that you are?
Okay, let me put the lights on. That is
very important.
Okay.
Somebody called you Shally Poppy.
They do that all the time.
AbdulShally, not Shally Poppy.
They do that all the time.
How far with that woman that's owing you money? She don't pay.
For where? She has not paid. I beg that. If you don't go there first.
Mo ask him where the money they. What's her name again?
Oh, please leave her alone. Let her continue. She will meet her Waterloo.
Okay. What's your name, ma? The lady who wants to speak.
Nene.
Oh, Nene, are you? Hey.
Yes, Daddy Freeze. How are you?
Very well, thank you.
It's been a long
All right,
time.
go ahead.
Oh, Daddy Freeze, I respect this lady. What's your name, my sister?
I'm Sarah. AbdulShally, that's what you call me.
Just said it all. Like Daddy Freeze said, when you divorce a man, there has been a problem there. Divorce is money. His responsibility, you cannot divorce his responsibilities, yes, but you cannot dictate how he's responsible for that child 100%, because this is two people that have a child together. I'm a divorcee with two sons, and their father lives in the UK. That if it's not even a single £1 he contributes, but I still try to have my children have contact with him, because that is a bond that money cannot buy. This is what women, they use these children and think that's the whip that you can beat somebody else's. No, when the relationship is finished, it's finished. You co-parent in peace. But you cannot tell me that you want to take your child to a private school, which you cannot afford, and you cannot sit down with the other party that you expect to pay and consult them before you take those children to a private school. Most of the time, this is what we women do. You want a Lamborghini, fine. Make sure you can come up to half of it, because it's not only the child that is riding that car, especially if you have other children as well. Let's say you have other children, they are not my children, and you expect me to pay for 25 million for a house that is not only you that is living there. And you might have a boyfriend. I cannot control, say, when I'm paying rent, you cannot have somebody to visit you, or you can't have your boyfriend come to the house. But is it fair? So if Davido says he's got 5 million, if you can come up with the 20, it's fine. It's your choice. You choose that house. But most of the time, we are trying to put too much pressure on the daddies, and this is why sometimes the children suffer.
Exactly.
Life is always the children that suffer for this kind of things.
Exactly. You're right.
I don't think it's fair.
So I disagree with you guys. Daddy Free, how now?
For me,
hello.
So unfortunately, I love what you both said and I respect it, but you have to hear it from a different person's point of view. Each time this topic is said, I always have an issue with it, because my case is different from your case. Divorcing is different. It's different from you getting an email in the hospital and your husband denied all your children, saying he's not the father, and the paternity shows that they're his kids, and he doesn't send a dime. But then the person is still rude. So I'm going to ask a question. The fathers of your kids, are they disrespectful to you when they talk about seeing the kids?
No, they're not.
Exactly. This one will call me feeling like as if it's right, talking to me anyhow, like, you know what, give the child the phone, I want to talk to the child. After I got a court order that I have sole custody. My son is going to be 10, he has never seen him before. And unfortunately, I have sole custody. So don't make it look like every woman is being wicked. Keeping the kid from every situation. Every situation is completely different.
Hold on.
I'm saying.
Sorry. Hold on. Let me try to bring clarity here. Madam, what you are saying is very valid. But are you asking him to pay 25 million naira a year for your rent?
So that 25 million naira a year, I respect everything you said. And I always believe in 50-50. In our days of our fathers and our mothers, it was easy for the man to provide everything. I'm an only girl and I have brothers. This day and age, things are not that easy, where everybody has to support each other. What I don't like about, I'm not going to blame anybody, but I always tell women, I counsel a lot of married friends or people that are about to get divorced. A man that is making an impact in the life of the child, that is contributing something, those are not the men that you are wicked to. A man that makes an attempt to even do something, no matter how small for the child, the man cannot be responsible for your lifestyle. What happened is she expects Davido to be responsible for her lifestyle, and that's not going to happen. And can I tell you something? There are ways to get money out of Davido, but he's not a public person. Guess what? Who did he marry? He married peace of mind. I don't know Davido, I don't know Chioma, but how many times will you see Chioma making noise online? Whatever these people, the internet never forgets. It's always going to be there. I feel sorry for her. I wish she was someone I could talk to privately. This is not a social media thing. And using somebody else's late child to insult the person, that was the heartbreak for me. He wasn't there. People pay nannies. It can happen. Look, let me give you an example. 2 weeks ago, my son put a boppy pin in a socket and he blew his hand. I was right here at home. I was working. If he was Nigeria, he probably have died. Does that make me a careless mother?
No.
Exactly.
No.
Exactly. So things happen. They paid a nanny to watch the child and something happened. That should not even come up in a conversation when you're talking about this man and the child.
Let me say something about what you just said now, right? In my own opinion, this case has reached court. That's because both of them could not reach a compromise. And if you know legal battles, you would understand this. When you get to court, you're on a battlefield and you have to use every weapon in your arsenal to fight back because you want to win. You will have
Sweetheart,
to punch your opponent in the place that will hurt them the most, because it's a court. There's no sentiments in court. Whatever you can use, that is valid. I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to say.
My ex-husband tried it. I know what you're trying to say. Let me give you an example of what he put in the court documents. So I had a business transaction with someone, and the person came to come and look for me, at the house, because I've always lived abroad. So I went to Nigeria to visit. And when they came next, I didn't realize that there were police involved. And so we went to the police station. They found out that it had nothing to do with me, and I was released. In the court document, he put that, I do fraud. That's why police even came to come and look for me at home, trying to tarnish my image. You know something about Nigeria that I don't like? Nigeria favors men more than women when it comes to divorce. And because he had an aunt that is a judge, they tried to manipulate it. In fact, he had told people that, guess what? He's going to take my kids and I'll never see them again. So I went to file in Ogun State. When people feel that they are foolish, you have to show them that you are mad. I went to file in Ogun State, and my lawyer advised me to take my kids out of Nigeria and send him a message that I was abroad. But because he doesn't pay any child support, you see, if you had listened to my father's advice, pay 10,000 naira a month to this person, it will show that you do give child support. Over here, they don't joke with stuff like that. If you don't pay child support, you don't own any child, though. Because if he tries to come to America tomorrow, he will still pay that child support up to when the children were born. But guess what? For me, what I always tell people, a man that wants to take care of his children, it's his choice. You can't force it. You can't force a man to take care of his children. So if you genuinely, out of your heart, want to take care of the children, then fine. But if you don't decide that you don't want to, that's fine by me. But don't act like as if I owe you something. Because in the future, when the children grow older, you come and say, you have kids somewhere. I'm sorry, it doesn't work that way. Because I'm ready to fight it to the end. So when I listen to women like you, I'm always so proud. I'm so proud of women like you that you still have a good heart like that. But I am scarred. I am hurt. And so how I react is completely different. My husband denied my kids on an email while I was in hospital.
That's why I said your own situation was different, because he started it in that way. That's disrespect already.
Oh, God.
For me, the problem I have with Sophia is you don't bring private matter like this on social media. If you see everything about her child, she's bringing it on social media.
But a lot of Nigerians do that.
But when the child was not well, the child was in hospital. You can see that she was having a drip or everything. She was walking around with the child. You bring all this, I'm the only one looking after the child. And there's so many women looking after their own children without their father. It doesn't mean it's right, but you don't bring it on social media because it's not going to resolve it. Social media is not the place to come and resolve family issue. So for me, I always tell my children, do you want to see your father? Even if you don't want to see him, just respect him. Because he's your father, that's not going to change. But I was struggling as a single mother in the UK with 2 boys on my own. Even when they are sick, if I call him and say, I'm coming, and he will never turn up. But I don't hold it against him. It's his way of being a parent. Does not mean that I have to be a failed parent because he's failed. When he wanted to go to court, said, okay, he wants custody. I said, I won't fight you. Take them, because you know why? It's boys. If it was girls, I won't give him, because I'll be worried a little bit. You understand? But when he said he wanted the kids, when we went to court, I said they should give him. They said, no, they don't just give children just like that. I'm not the one that make those decisions. They went to the school. He's never dropped them from not once in school. He's never taken them to the GP, interview my neighbors. So he has no parental rights, duties that he was doing for him to qualify for me to give him the children in the first place. I told the judge, I said, no, I know it's his children. He will not harm them. But he wanted to have a council house. So you think having the children will give him a council house just like that? God does not operate like that. So when you have a child with somebody, if they really want to take responsibility, let it be their own. If they don't want to take responsibility, you cannot force them. Forcing them will bring so much stress to you, to the children. And just let them be. Do what you can do.
There's a difference between sperm donor, daddy, papa, baby daddy. They all have different definitions. Some men just want to have access to the kids so that they'll have pictures to post on their birthdays. Not everybody is the father.
That's true.
And not everybody that gives birth to a child acts like a father.
Acts like a father.
I don't know if you understand. Daddy Freeze, if I'm talking nonsense, you can correct me.
No. It's okay.
Yeah, so because as I'm trying to tell you that, so I might be wrong. I'm not trying to say whatever I'm saying is the right thing. I choose to do what is best for me as a mom. But what I'm
That's
trying to tell you, and I might not be perfect, I might be wrong, but I use my experience to coach other people that, oh, they want to get a divorce or they're trying to do things to harm their children. I'm like, when two elephant fights, who suffers is the grass. But when these things happen when the kids are very young and they don't get to see that father when they're young, when they grow up, they don't remember. Like my 14-year-old, the day somebody said, oh, you know me, your father and I went to school. My daughter was like, which father? That I don't know the man. He doesn't care about us. Because guess what? When I was diagnosed with cancer, I reached out and I'm very sick and I needed the help. This man was busy boasting, telling people that he will mail food to my house.
Oh my God.
My kids go to private school. So you can imagine the insult. And he's still very disrespectful. And I keep saying until he decides to respect me as the mother that's taking care of these children. Amazing kids. I'm sorry, I'm not going to give him that floor to act like a father. Because for me, he's just a sperm donor. Anybody can quote me and insult me if they like. I really don't care.
You know, sometimes, yeah, if like...
Okay, sorry guys.
Situation,
Let's have Bongoli. We don't have much time. So let's have Bongoli for 5 minutes. Sally wants to come back. So Bongoli, let's hear you.
Good evening, everyone. Good day, everyone.
Good evening.
And surprisingly, I'm going to be DJing for Davido tonight in Houston. So, yes. So I'm going to be DJing for him tonight.
Good luck.
So, just an FYI. All right. I do not want us to see this case from an emotional standpoint because it is legal. And we have to be rational and not be emotional. First things first. According to the Child Rights Act in Nigeria as of today, the father, regardless of how he birthed the child, maybe he was a sperm donor like our auntie here, our lady here is saying, or marriage, or whatever the case may be, is solely responsible for that child. When I mean solely responsible, I mean for the upkeep. When I mean for the upkeep, I mean school fees. And
Bongoli.
It's Child Rights Act.
Hold on.
School fees.
Hold on. Like I said, you said you don't want us to be emotional. Have you gone through a divorce in Nigeria before?
That the phrase, I have not gone.
Answer me.
No.
Because you see, what you are doing is you are bringing an academic debate to a real life situation. Nigeria is one place where 99% of those things they write in those books are not applied. So,
that is freeze.
So even if you are saying the child, I've been through a divorce, I've been through child custody battle before, and even if you may be right academically, in reality, you won't be right. But continue nonetheless.
That is freeze. But respectfully, then what kind of conversation are we having?
You don't want an emotional conversation.
It's not a shame.
You don't want an emotional conversation. You are being emotional, brother.
No, I am not. I am not.
Listen, everybody I know that has been through a child custody battle in Nigeria, 90% of the time. Let me tell you what, in court, one thing that worked against me is the judge said that because I've been paying the school fees 100%, I should maintain paying the school fees 100%. And I realized that if I had demanded that my ex paid 30% of the school fees, so I put my foot down that, okay, this is what you want from this is the school you want, bring 30%, I will bring 70%. At the end of the day, it will have worked out like that. The reason why the judge told me to continue paying 100% of the school fees was because there were bank trails to show that I was paying 100%. So I could not run away from it. If I was paying 0%, they would tell me to pay it, and I'll tell them I don't have the money, and they will not throw me inside prison. That's why I said it's an academic debate. Yes, Bongoli, you are right. But in as much as you are right, I want us to also face the realities of the matter. I'll tell you for free. I know men that have not paid 1 naira towards their children's education, feeding, or housing. And they are walking free. They did not send them to any prison. Nothing happened to them. This Child Rights Act, you might quote it, like I said, academically on paper. In reality, I will give you the reality. And I've gone through it on 2 different grounds. And I can tell you my experiences in all. What you will talk about academically and what you come out to find in reality are two different things. So be careful when you quote these academics, because they most of the time do not apply.
Okay, Daddy Freeze.
But can I quickly say something, sir, before you continue? Daddy Freeze, you are talking about divorce. No, I just want to point something out. Daddy Freeze is talking about divorce. Sophie is not married to Davido. Point that out. Divorce is different for somebody that is married. She's not married, so there's no legal right. So you can continue.
Okay. So I would like to ask.
That's because the woman didn't sue them. The woman sued. Forget. You see, Baba, when they talk, that's why I ask you. Have you ever been through a divorce proceeding before? If your answer is yes, then come and share yours. If your answer is no, all these things people are reading inside book. When it comes to the reality of it, it does not apply.
I have.
Thank you.
Okay. I hope I don't miss my chain of thoughts. Daddy Freeze, first attack. Now let me throw my own attack too. Please. If I ask people in the comment section and the people watching us today, would you rather have a Bongoli go to court for you or a Daddy Freeze? And if we go to court, who do you think will win a case like this?
Bongoli, every time me and you have had argument, I've won you hands down. So don't even go there.
Daddy Freeze, that is not true, but okay.
Baba, don't even go there. You see, I respect your
intentional. Daddy Freeze, it was intentional. It was what I said was intentional. It was intentional because I feel that this kind of public conversations or situations that happen, let us take out Davido and Sophia out of it.
Correct.
And let us look at the content for what it really is. Because a lot of people are going through things that are less than this or even more than this. And this is a way that we can actually shape the society. And that's why I started with quoting the law. Daddy Freeze, yes, you are right. There are a lot of things that we don't abide by. But Daddy Freeze, I can hit my chest and tell you that I have so much experience when it comes to issues like this. Why? Because there is a program, and I want Nigerians to watch this program. It's called Justice Court on YouTube. I don't know if people watch it. That is George Fumi Asaolu. When you watch that program, you have not any dynamic. You see what Daddy Freeze just said now? Daddy Freeze is right to what he said in the sense that what got him in his own, I don't get into people's private, in that situation, was that he was already paying full tuition. If he was not paying tuition at all, they can come and say, okay, come and pay full tuition, or they walk around it. So I'm coming from a place of, I am watching it every week. I watch it every week. I see dynamic situations, and I also know of the Child Rights Act of 2003. So when I'm coming to speak, I'm coming to speak based on facts, evidence, and what's happening in reality. So now let's go to the subject matter here. There's no question that a lot of people are missing. Were there court arrangements before the what's the word? The applicant? No, the plaintiff. Because there's a plaintiff. The plaintiff is the male in this case. Before the plaintiff charged the respondent to court, Abi, were there legal proceedings as to how they were managing the situation?
Social media.
I'm asking.
I'm
asking.
I don't think that was it.
There was no social media
was
judgment.
No.
There was no.
You didn't get what I said. What I said was there any legal arrangement between them?
Not so far as we know. No.
Until the plaintiff
Not that we're aware of.
first salvo, right? Yes, that we're aware of. Until the plaintiff through the first salvo, right? The plaintiff through the first salvo.
I think they have a family arrangement.
No.
Through the
I'm just saying the plaintiff through the first salvo, and then the respondent replied. Right?
Bongoli, I want you to learn because time is going and my battery is dying.
Okay, Daddy, please.
I need you to
all
learn.
All I'm trying to say here is that we need to read the contents of the court documents. They are out there on social media. We need to read it and we need to look at the laws that are guiding and binding in Nigeria. Lagos State has very strong Child Rights Act and DV Act. And our lady here said she took the case to Ogun State. Ogun State too has very strong ones. It's just very few that has it in Nigeria. So people
now, hold on, Bongoli, hold on, yeah. Davido sends her 5 million naira a year for her housing, bought her a Range Rover, and pays her tuition.
When was the last
He has done more
time
than
he did
enough.
that? When was the last time he did that? When was the last time he did that?
But don't forget,
Because
the child is 9. He was
the
doing
information
it
we
before,
have,
it's only
because
now.
I'm trying not to go personal here or whatever, because the information we had was the grandfather of the plaintiff kept stepping in.
They don't allow you play for the video concert.
Yeah, but
Why no
before
go play?
the
Why
grandfather
no go
stepped
play?
in,
This America, why no
before
go play?
the grandfather
Why
stepped
no
in,
go
he was taking
play?
responsibilities. He was taking
What did you
responsibilities.
say?
There was a break of communication between them, but before the grandfather stepped in, he was taking responsibility. This child is 9. It's not like Davido has nobody taking
He was taking
responsibility.
responsibilities. Are we really sure of that?
Yes, he was.
Because there were
Yes, he
comments
was.
in the court document that said that they were in some kind of relationships in between.
We are not
So
talking
that
about
is
it.
why
Don't mix
things
the
get
relationship with the
intertwined. That is
responsibility
why
of a
things get
parent.
intertwined. Let us be very
Let me just
honest
ask you.
with
Let
this
me just
issue.
ask you as a man. If you divorce
Yes.
with your wife,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, and you have children,
Mm-hmm.
do you believe that you should take full responsibility, 100% responsibility, or should the wife meet you halfway?
Now, according to the law in Nigeria, the wife
I'm
or
asking
the lady in
morally. Forget the
question.
law. It's
Why
morally.
do you tell me to forget the law? That is my
I'm
backing.
just saying
That is
morally,
Bongoli's
because
backing.
it's like when you
You
don't
see,
sort situation like this, that's when you go to court.
Hold on. This is why you are being emotional.
Hold
Even though you got, hold on.
Bongoli will take it to
wait
court.
now.
That is I did here.
Not every situation goes to
wait.
court.
Wait. You see, when the laws are unreasonable, they will be challenged with the same unreasonable laws. You see, in a law court, ask anybody who has been to, you don't win with, you win with technicalities, you win with, you look at the dynamics of the case. What if, okay, the law says I must provide 100% and I don't have a job? Am I supposed to cut my hand every week, then start cutting my legs so that they can have meat? So when a law, it does not make sense, and there are many laws in Nigeria that to me honestly do not make any sense at all. Okay, abroad it's more reasonable. The richer party, hold on, the richer party takes care of the child.
Daddy Freeze, you just said what's causing the problem.
According to the law, the child is a minor. The child is a minor, and the child is always going to be with the mom for the most part. Except you can go to a court of competent jurisdiction and they say the woman has so many men.
What if the father does not have a job?
In the whole wide world for them to take the child from the woman. So the woman is always going to have custody of the child regardless. And the child is even a minor. According to the Child Rights Act, you cannot take the child away from the mom. First is first. Secondly, according to the law, the father is responsible for the upkeep of the child, be it school fees, accommodation, health care. The father is responsible.
I disagree with you, sir. I've had situations where women abandon their children for the father to take care of. Otherwise, raise them.
I just said that now. I said that unless in extreme cases.
All right, let's leave Bongoli to finish. Sally wants to come back. Bongoli, please finish. Please, let's not interrupt him again. Let Bongoli finish.
All I'm saying here is that a lot of people are going through different things that are quite similar to this, like different issues, different dynamics. It is the child that suffers or the children that suffers eventually. We have laws in the country, and we all should abide by those laws. We want a sane society, because actually, in Nigerian law, we have what is called child maintenance. It's not called child support in Nigeria, it's called child maintenance. And there's a certain agreement that both parties will make for child maintenance. Now, like I said, before the plaintiff took the respondent to court, they had maybe a gentleman's agreement or something. And according to the court documents that we saw, she said, don't worry, it will be 50-50 for the accommodation and all of that. And then maybe because of a kind of relationship they had or something, everything stopped. It is there for public consumption. So we don't know what was being said between them, because we knew that respectfully to the plaintiff and his wife, there was a time that they took a break. And we saw on social media that we saw the plaintiff gravitating towards the other lady, and maybe they became an item. And I'm seeing it, just looking at it, I'm seeing it from maybe, okay, we are now an item. Man, I don't think this can work. She gets bitter, he goes back, and it's like, I'm turning my back on you, because we see that the grandfather of the plaintiff, I mean the father of the plaintiff, was always stepping in. Also, like we all have said, and we have seen in court documents, they said, come and stay in a family house. If I were a lady, I would never stay in that family house. For what? As what? So we all need to factor all of these things. And remember, ladies, please, and men also, men, any woman you cannot marry, don't sleep with that woman. That's the only SUXUL education that my mom, Alaja, ever gave me. That's the only thing she told me. And women also, let our women, be careful with the kind of men that they lay with. We have these issues going on. It is in the American society right now. Over 70% of black-skinned kids, they are it's from out of wedlock. Because many times out of wedlock issues cause this type of things, and these are things that brings down our society. I'm not saying this case, so I'm just saying
let me just come in as a woman.
We need to really look at this thing very carefully.
We are talking about this now is because the relationship between them has collapsed. Whatever they had, whether it was a relationship or whatever, is collapsed. And now it's affecting the child. Because it's not like Davido is not responsible. It's the way she wants Davido to take responsibilities. That's the problem. You cannot go and choose a 25 million house without discussing with me, and you are expecting me to pay part of that money. Before you go for that house, we have to sit down and discuss that. This is the reason I want to go for this house. How much would you be able to bring in for me to be able to rent this property?
Ma, I watch you on TV. Ma, I watch you on a concert. You promised a lady 50,000 USD to clear her debts. Then you are living in Banana Island. I think she's even doing the respondent is doing the plaintiff a favor for living in Banana Island. So that means you even have access to your daughter. The respondent is not saying in this case that I cannot see your daughter. No, that's not what she's saying. We need to understand what the documents, the court documents are saying.
There is a way I'll ask you for money, even if you don't want to give it, you will give it to me. There is a way I'll ask you, even if you have surplus, you will not give it to me. It's all in the manner of the relationship. This is why I say they don't have a cordial relationship as parents. They are not co-parenting in a very lovely manner, in a very peaceful way. This is a problem because Sophia can get anything she wants from Davido if she's doing it in a friendly way. But they have a dispute already.
But let me quickly say something. I don't know if they do this in Nigeria. Over here in the US, co-parenting, there are classes you go to that teaches people how to co-parent.
Yes.
Now we are mistaking something. I have to play devil's advocate for Sophie. This is Davido we are talking about. She's thinking, oh, he can afford it. It looks like a mentality, like she's expecting him to do things. But you have to put your mind in the fact that she's expecting her child to get the same treatment as other children. In as much as you are saying you are giving somebody 25 million, you have to look at it from her own perspective. But he has the money. But she's just not knowing how to go about it. If they can do that class that they do for co-parenting in Nigeria, maybe they can be able to talk without involving social media. So we have to think about both parts.
We have the classes in Nigeria. You see, that's what I think. We have the classes, and also.
Do you realize again? That's not the only child he has.
No, let us not forget something also. Let us not forget something also. We are speaking of the 1% of Nigeria that are the people who say petite bourgeoisie. No. Let us call a spade a spade. We are speaking of the 1% of the 1% in Nigeria, and people are here saying 25 million naira per annum for the child. That where the child living is too
It's
much.
not the money, it's the manners of where you're asking
Okay,
for
hold
it.
on. What is the
I've
manner?
asked you a question. I said, if you divorce, let's say you have two
No.
children with somebody or
What
one
is the
child.
manner, ma'am? What is the manner?
No,
Because
let me just give you
I'm
I'm asking you a question. Let's say be able to communicate.
Okay.
Let's say you're giving me 5 million for rent for the child, and then I go and take a new property that is 25 million without consulting you, and then I want it, and I'm not kind of like in a friendly manner. Would you give it to me, even though it's your responsibility to do, even though you have surplus? Because I didn't consult you, I just went and did it. Would you give it to me?
Let me answer this, ma'am.
No, I'm
Hold
just
on.
asking you a question.
No,
Can you please answer that one?
I would not. But hold on. There's a point I want to make here, ma'am. Do you have any concrete evidence that states that the plaintiff told the respondents don't collect that house? It's too much.
This is what I say, lack of communication.
No,
We don't have that because if you look at
no, it's not that you put a context, and I'm asking you, do you have any concrete evidence?
It's based on the court document. It's not there. We're reading both
sides. So it's not. So why do we then push that narrative on maybe she took the child to another school without?
No, he said I'll give 5. He said he will give 5. She turned it down.
Ma, there was a gentleman's agreement. I'm even glad that this is happening so that the courts can actually
sort it out. You not go play that tonight.
Why not go play?
Okay, guys. Bongoli.
Okay, please, I'm leaving.
You don't try. But as you are going, I want to tell you something here. You see,
okay.
I personally believe that in Nigeria, as long as he will pay the school fees, he has to pay the school fees. That's unarguable. If he gives 5 million naira for a house, you will get a decent house for 5 million. And you will put the clause, that's how much I can afford for a house. If you don't like that house, come and live in one of my houses.
Bingo.
You cannot say you want to live in a... No judge will give you that in this Nigeria.
No,
any judge that gives that, they will appeal it.
That is not the context. We don't have that information to be sure that they have that conversation that I'm moving to a 23 million naira house.
What I'm trying to tell you is,
so it's unfair to push that narrative.
You see, let me tell you, when it comes to school fees, I wish I had my court papers, what they told me about accommodation. Accommodation, I don't think I was to pay accommodation. I was to pay maintenance.
Medical.
You understand? I was to
pay child maintenance is the law. Child maintenance is the law.
School fees. That's what the law told me. And I said I was not going to pay 1 naira unless I saw my children.
Of course, you're right.
I'm not
100%. I agree, sir. I agree.
So at the end of the day, it is we are going to do a lot of back and forth. But let me tell you one thing. If Davido is a kid, his father is not. If Davido is emotional on social media, his father is not. Anything his father wants to say, his father will run it through his legal team. And trust me, on Adeleke's level, he will have access to senior advocates of Nigeria that will give him sound legal counsel. That is why, even if you read Davido's father's letter, you will see that it is not just well written and articulated. He put it there that I offered you a house in Victoria Island. Now you say you don't want. It was there.
Yes, I will.
That was there for a legal reason. Should you go to court and say they did not give me a house? They gave you a house. You did not want it.
That is, who gave the house? Is it the father or the grandfather? Let me ask you.
No, that is house.
Plaintiff is different. Plaintiff is the man in question, and respondent is the lady in question. The grandfather is a third party. Let's go there. That is, let's go legal. Let's go there.
Even he did not offer.
He did not offer. The grandfather did not. The grandfather is different from the father. DF. The grandfather is different from the father. So
I would like a lawyer's opinion on that.
Yeah.
but it's still coming from the same family. Something can be done on my behalf.
Dear.
My mother can say, okay, you know what? My son is in a tight spot now. I want to pay the school fees of one of the children. It's coming from me.
Dear, if the grandfather gives the child the son, and the son now pays it to the woman, yes. But if the grandfather
no, it doesn't work like that.
No.
Okay, I don't have a house to live. The grandfather said, come and stay house. You see, you can play around all this. But how do you convince a judge that is unbiased? That there is house from my grandfather.
Take me out. Take me out, because when you are trading to in the court of law, I have warned you, sir. I don't do winning or anything.
You have not done anything. You have not tied around your leg.
This is
Now I know say no.
No, you didn't win him. I'm going to use my own conduct.
Let me win you with one. Have you ever gone to court before over a
child property
matter? Wait, have you ever? Have you ever? You know, do you know all my child custody issues? Do you know how I went around all of them?
Dear, have you read
who my lawyers are?
Dear, have you read
the kind of brilliant lawyers I have? Do you know the kind of advice they give me? Bro, you are talking about something that you are reading about. I'm telling you that not only have I read about it more than you, I have experienced it.
Dear, did you read Dele Momodu's response to the whole issue? Chief Dele Momodu.
To be honest, I read just the beginning part. And because I wasn't going to be talking about Uncle Dele directly, Bob D, in this matter, I left it aside. Because you see, this matter we go deal with them every day.
You need to read the full. You need to read the full. You need to read the full context, because the chief in this question has a good relationship based on what we see with the family. Yeah. So you need to read it, and eventually they are going to take this thing away from court. They are going to settle out of court. Okay, I see it going that way.
Can you explain what you understood from what the uncle, his own statements?
What the uncle is clearly saying is
as well.
What the uncle is clearly saying is that you also need to cut some slack for his niece. That these are the reasons why the niece did not take some certain things, like the offer here and there, the house. These are the reasons why we're talking about school. Did he talk about school fees? He just talked about that.
He just mentioned the house. He said he understood why she did not accept the house, because
she should not accept the house on no condition, because they're going to be watching her. It's not safe for her.
Yes.
You can't tell me we're not married to go and live in your family house. That one, we all understood that one. But what we're saying is, they didn't have this problem when she was 1, when the baby was 1, 2, 3, 4. Is now they're having the problem.
Now, can we also rule out Adele as being a third party? Hold on. If Adeleke is a third party, how come Dele, that is not directly related by blood to Sophie, is her uncle, not her father or her mother, how come you are bringing him into this matter? So
no. They are very different. They are very different. One of the parties was actually paying school fees for the child for 2 years. It was a mess on social media when we saw it now. One of the parties was doing things, was taking care of the upkeep. One of the parties, the other one just wrote like an open editorial. So it's different. He's not even part of it.
He said he was a mediator between them for quite some time.
Of course, it's family, whatever now. But what I'm saying here is that one is actually paying.
Do you think Sophia and Davido had a very good communication, co-parenting communication? Do you think we would know all about this?
Hold on, who brought it out? Who brought it out?
I'm just saying, do you think we would have heard about this if they had a good co-parenting communication? Their communication lacked
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. We won't hear anything.
So they have to put the child interest first, because I always see the video with that child. She never comes out and says anything before.
From what I'm noticing here, there is more of the Sophie. not the plaintiff. Why? And when it was the plaintiff that took the respondent to court, why?
Have you talked about
Because
the issue of the age difference?
denied access to see the
Sorry?
child. He's been denied
Sorry,
access.
let me just say something unrelated.
Age difference. Let's go there.
I want to say so. I have a cousin that is a celebrity in quotes, and I feel like when people are in the limelight, there's this mental capacity, soft life that women see them as a meal ticket. I'm sorry, it might not be what happened, but I'm trying to tell you that what if the having a child for Davido was not ever about love, or was just for me to have a child for him and someone to take care of my child? That's why a lot of women have children for two-face. You have to look at it from the context of being the bad person and the good person. Now, what will make a 27, 26-year-old want to date a 19-year-old in the first place? Let's talk about it. You're talking about Sophie. The context of this relationship was always material.
Personal lives. Sorry, ma. Let's not get into their personal lives. We're dealing
I understand what you're saying. I'm just trying to drag out a point.
We're dealing with what they release to the public. Do you understand?
I understand.
Can't run away from that. And I will always say that Davido has done he has tried. There's no, as a man, I cannot judge him wrong. He has done everything he should as a man. And Davido's father has been more than a father. He has been a man of wisdom. So I disagree with you, Bongoli, when you say he was a third party. That man has done nothing but try to bring peace.
We're talking about law context now, DF. I didn't mean that is freeze.
Let's out of their love.
No.
Whatever love is not important.
No.
The matter is what they brought to the public. That we have to deal with.
DF, when I made that statement from the point of, if we go to court based on what I submitted, this is the plaintiff versus it is not plaintiff's family. If they say plaintiff's family, that's where maybe they will have looked at it. If they say plaintiff's family versus the other lady, but the other lady will say it's not plaintiff's family that I have child for, it's this person that I have child for. That is why I made that statement. Baba has been very good. Baba, we see everything that happens. Of course, yes.
Okay,
now,
but
Baba,
let me ask you again another question. Davido was seeing his daughter all this while. Why is he not seeing the daughter now? Did you ask that question? You try to find out why.
All this while on social media?
No, it's like 2 years. I think they've been having this problem.
No,
probably 2 years.
We can't say. We don't know these people's personal lives.
Based on
Baba
what she's saying on
Baba was in Milan 2 days ago.
2 years.
Now he's in Houston. Tomorrow he might be in Singapore.
If they will allow you to perform for a concert today,
they go allow me. They go allow me. I don't do anything wrong.
Now,
we don't start for stage. I go send her to you. We go snap for stage. I don't get problem with her. We go snap for stage. I don't get problem with her.
When you reach the concert, just record video for us. So.
I will record her. If he shows up, I will record her. I even get special remixes. I have special remixes for his song.
Honestly, Bongoli, I think they shouldn't have gone where they are right now, because there's family that was involved. The uncle is involved. The grandfather is involved.
I agree.
Before going to court, I think they should have, talk to these people and see if they can.
Now play at the play about Bongoli playing. Now play at the play.
No.
Before some people start thinking, the Bongoli where they play with no vex.
No.
When you have a family case in court regarding children, the first thing they will try to do is get mediation.
Of course.
They'll try to get mediation, because this is family we're talking about. It's when people get too angry, upset, and then they can't think right, and they start to bring the law in. But the law is never going to help you.
But my sister, they were, or my lady, they were managing the situation offline or off.
Where did he go wrong?